TRESOR, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming through.
No, thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk about that journey. I mean, everybody talks about how incredible it is. Talk to us about how you moved from the DRC, Goma. I mean, we're going to touch certainly on what's happening there and if your family is safe. But let's start off with that journey to South Africa and where you are today.
It's been really such a great blessing to be able to, of course, live and fulfill my dreams. I was born and grew up in Goma, Eastern DRC. Currently, of course, with everything going on, it's very heart-shattering. But we had such a beautiful childhood, and I had my early start to music in the same city, and which were really an incredible childhood. And I moved to South Africa just when I was about 19 years old.
So did you, when you started your career, did you sing in French? Did you sing in English?
Throughout my career, most of the time, earlier I started singing Swahili,
yeah,
a bit of French, and a bit of English, though it was broken then. Yeah, I've always mixed languages throughout my career. Up until today, I still pretty much do the same.
So what for you has been the highlight of your career?
Man, I've been so fortunate. I've had so many highlights. Really, genuinely, they've been quite a lot.
Yeah.
I can't really think of any particular one that has been the best one, but I guess it's just my whole, I think, vision behind my career is to be able to first, you know, reviving the glory days of African pop music,
yeah,
and also being able to shape the sonic pop culture globally from the continent, which has been really amazing. Working for a lot of artists in the US, the UK, around Europe, but doing it from here, which has been really amazing.
How have you managed to do that? I mean, we know you've had a collaboration with stars like Drake, which I think for me has got to be up there with some of those great achievements that you've had.
To be honest, it's been purely from just authentic music. You know, I tell people, like, I'll be working on my music, doing my own thing, and just have a message or someone from an artist, either from the US or Europe, just reach out just because they heard a song or they had a project that I really like that I've done. So it's been just a genuine growth. It's been purely from doing what I do, which is for me just, you know, breaking molds and not really following any sonic boxes and just doing my own thing.
So let's talk about culture. You moved here as a 19-year-old. Obviously, you sang in French, sang in Swahili. You know, you pretty much developed as an individual. You come into South Africa, which is cosmopolitan, has multiple local languages and cultures. And how has that shaped you from the time that you moved or shaped your music?
Man, I love South Africa, man. Like, I love the musical culture, I love the sonic landscape, and just the overall, like, pop culture every day. You know, people are very creative. And I think it has definitely, you know, I always tell people without being biased, I was born in one of the greatest musical countries, which is Congo, and I live in another one, which is South Africa. I think both musically, they're very incredibly gifted musically as nations. And South Africa has been very crucial in helping me shape my sound. As an artist, I've spent majority of my adulthood here. And just being around, being able to be exposed to the sounds and the artists and the culture has been very vital in how my career stand out.
How do you describe your sound?
My sound, I call it the new age African pop music.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's really like, I'm a firm believer in not really being boxed in anything. So I'm very much a genre banding artist. I do whatever I feel is right for me at any given time. And that really has been the most important thing that has really, to be honest, positioned me as an artist from the continent, that just like, I just bring something fresh every time. However I want to interpret it, or however I want to shape it, it's really for me. The sound itself doesn't really matter. It's always for me how I want to express myself.
Now, have you evolved as a musician over time? Has your sound evolved?
Yeah, very much. It evolves every day. Yeah, every day. Like, I think, I get inspired by the most random things, It could be, a video of a a kid in the street of Lagos, or in Soweto, or a sound I just heard from Burundi. It doesn't matter from where. I just get inspired by sound from the continent. I think we have such an amazing landscape of sounds from all over the continent. And it's my mission to try and explore as many as possible in this lifetime.
So again, it comes back to the issue around collaboration and with the travel. How much do you perform on the continent? How much do you perform internationally?
In the last 2 years, not much, because I kind of shifted a lot of my focus to like writing, producing for other people, and also just exploring some of my other interests outside of music. But most of the time, I'm on the road about 10 months of the year.
Wow.
Combined, I spend a lot of my time between the US and Europe, writing, producing, and here, of course, on the continent, being able to also just perform and share the music, yes.
Where do you enjoy performing the most? Is there a particular crowd that says, TRESOR, you're here, we love you, more than any other?
It's really depends, but it's always home, man. It's always home. I find myself performing on a farm, like 2 hours out of Los Angeles, or for public because someone liked the music, or for a private function somewhere outside of Milan, or somewhere here in Western Cape. So for me, it's always about rooms and the people, but I always enjoy the best. It's always enjoy performing here around because the energy is unmatched.
So we can't end this conversation without talking about what's happening in Goma at the moment, and that's where you came from when you moved here as a 19-year-old. Obviously, must be painful for you to witness what's going on. Are you in touch with any family members? Are they safe?
Yes, thank God everyone is safe. I mean, my whole life, most guys my age, we've only known war, you understand? So we've lived in that kind of situation since 1994, 5, 6. And it's been an on and off, and for me, I think this past 2 weeks have been very heartbreaking to see, to witness, speaking to family, when those connection. And it's very heartbreaking, and there've been so many lives lost, and I'm sending all my love and sincere condolences to my people that have lost the loved ones. And it's a very tough situation, but we are very resilient people. We extremely resilient people, and I really hope, I think there's going to be a turning leaf soon with everything going on right now. There is at least a little bit of, do believe, silver lining on the horizon.
Yeah, I remember in the early 90s, a group of musicians came together and they did We Are the World. And part of that was to deal with the issues that were happening on the African continent. TRESOR, what opportunities do you think are there for African artists such as yourselves that are famed across the continent to come together, to collaborate, to push a perspective or to push an agenda of uniting people? Is there a space on the continent for you to do that?
Definitely there is space for us to do that. There have been conversations, those kind of projects involves quite a lot of logistics, but everything is still very, very new. So I've been dealing with quite a lot of a turmoil of emotions for the last week or so. But we, personally, myself and the team and a few other associates, we are working on possible projects and avenues we can be able to explore.
Okay, and finally, before we let you go, what's on the horizon? When's your next performance? Where can people look for you?
I'm very excited for the year. Very excited. There's going to be quite a lot of music because I took a little bit of a break to focus on other things. I have quite a lot of music coming out this year and quite a lot of shows. You can just check my website, tresorofficial.com, for all the upcoming news.
Fantastic. TRESOR, incredible artist speaking to us, and obviously we thinking of him and his family. From his family who are in Goma, which is where he moved from as a 19-year-old. Okay, we're going